And turned me into such. All you granted me was lust, and what I seemed to have grown was lust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My might and my angels' wings have been bruised every strain. Those who break to blood are so fumes in vain. So believe in me and collect. I'm your leader. Rise! And
All
now
right.
into live scene.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to the next session of this campaign. As always, who wants to give a recap?
I don't mind.
By all means.
Alright. Well, last session, Inik's armor was finished up. Everyone made the final day's preparations for the journey. Whilst we were heading on our way out to Beautiful Rivers Crossing, there was a bunch of carts that we noticed, which we noticed one was actually heading to Rivers Crossing. It's a small cart, unassuming, not too fancy. A cheese, being ever curious, walked over, followed by Lessla and Sapphire. But they saw a man who was more flamboyant, eventually offering their services to transport the help with this cart due to the recent disappearances to our extra protection. After the man had a word with a mysterious snow elf, it was agreed upon, and eventually Corvus was reluctant, but agreed as well. At least walk with the cart. The travel was not eventful, with Lessla bothering the elf, and eventually bothering Sapphire, where they had a sort of discussion. We got lost a little bit, but quickly found a shortcut, which meant we lost no time. And on one of our last nights, Cheese felt something off about the woods. Everyone putting most people on high alert except for the snow elf, Cindrus, who seemed unfazed, which Lessla inquired about, but didn't really go anywhere. Learned from a couple of moths that were staring at the moon that there's some people who live in the forest who have metal weapons, and one wears a green robe. Well, as we were sort of moving through, get out of the forest, we went over a route, and that just broke the entire cart, and it was too heavy to be moved. So we traveled to just go get some extra people to help move that, which would only take a couple of minutes, which only took like half an hour. But while we were heading out, we got out of the tree line, we started making our way there. We were accosted by a man who basically was like, "Hey man, we want your shit, and yeah, just do that, and we'll let you go ahead." And before we really had time to process the deal or really think things through, Inik stepped up. He's going to rip a guy's guts out, as he's do, which caused our companion, Cindrus, to draw a weapon, and as you can say, "Hey, idiot, shut up," and held the knife to Lesla's neck. That is where we begin our session.
All right. Without any further ado, let's get right back into where we left off. You currently have this fellow in front of you. There's a couple on either side, couple in the back, and Cindrus holding a knife to Lesla's neck.
Yep.
Seeing this happen, Corvus will just sort of put his hands up a little bit and say, "Alright, now, no need for weapons to be drawn. These folk have offered us a good deal. Has to get hurt. Fools to say no, wouldn't we?"
You should listen to him. I'm Sindris in the back.
Jesus, growling.
Lessla,
Okay.
who... give me just a moment. Alright. Back. Had to put the dog outside.
Gotcha.
Lessla, looks... Doesn't even, like, fully look back, just angles her eyes towards Sindris and says is... Well, I can't say that I'm not surprised. As she, grins and says is... But... If I were you, I would put that knife away. If you so much as scratch me, you'll be joining your friends in death.
There's no dying here. Look.
Corvus, be quiet. And
No, I won't.
And then Lessla continues this. Unlike my compatriot there, I am a woman of my word, as is Inik, a man of his.
And what's the perception for Corvus?
I'm looking at their armor and stuff to see how healthy these people look.
So it's hard to tell for most of them. Like for this fellow, the beard covers up a lot of his face. The armor is pretty it looks muddy and dirty, but otherwise it seems okay. His looks to be sort of the best. For this fellow, the Tabaxi, it's hard to tell. You don't know
Yeah.
Tabaxi very well.
Yeah.
This guy's in the leaves, and you can only see her face.
Yeah.
The one you can get a very clear look of is the half-orc over here, who, despite the giant weapon that he has, the giant what was it? The halberd, the axe?
Great axe,
Yeah,
you said.
great axe. Thank you. I was trying to figure out what the word was for it in D&D. Yeah, despite the giant great axe, he's not looking so great. Like you've seen half orcs before. He's pretty scrawny. A half orc should not be that scrawny.
Yeah. Now, friends, this don't have to be any kind of fight. I just have a few questions. Fine folks. You mentioned a cart. But I don't see any cart here. So what cart are you referring to?
From Sindris in the back. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
So,
Don't try anything.
I ain't trying. Just trying to understand, as your friend here don't look particularly healthy. All wearing battered armor, and if you're bandits, you at least have some better stuff than what you do. Due to the limited time I've been here, there's some good hunting in these. Tell me you couldn't just hunt a deer or something? What's going on? That's all I'm asking.
Roll me a... This would be persuasion.
Look, fuck it. I tried being nice. No, I can literally roll 0 on this.
Well, let's.
Okay, that's not bad.
Whoa. 0.
It's Corvus ever been.
So, you hear from the Tabaxi over here. Boss, Maybe we should hear them out. They look tougher than, well, most. The guy standing by the tree takes a moment to consider. You want to talk? Fine, we can do that. But you're gonna have to put down all your weapons before I'm even willing to think of it.
Just takes the spear off his back, drops it on the ground.
He looks to the rest of the party.
Yeah, no.
I'll
You're
drop
a little more
the
fine because you just have a walking stick.
No, I have a rapier.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not dropping my
but-
weapon.
Is that set in character?
I'm just letting you know in character what's going
Okay.
to happen.
Okay.
If I can conceal my dagger, I will gladly drop the rapier and
Sleight of
go.
hand.
Advantage.
Advantage? Okay.
Yeah, it would be with advantage.
I was reading through it. I
What
remember
the
that.
fuck? Okay. We
Yeah,
just like
that-
it slipped out of my hand.
Yeah.
Hang on. How many? I've got 2 daggers, so can I do? Can I at least use one on me?
Sure, I'll let you try again.
It's a separate item technically.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay. So you slip one of them out. You made it with that with the 23 on that. You managed to make it look like you meant to drop it.
Mhm.
So now the ones remaining just look at Inik, Cheese, and Lessla.
Cheese has not stopped looking at Syndrus.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you all
Uh.
also drop your weapons, or I'm not going to. Not very fair, is it, if we have to drop ours, but you're
It's
also
still
out
good
manning
faith
us.
if we do it first.
Good faith with bandits. I'm
And
sure
your
that'll take you
charge has
far.
a dagger to her throat.
She can
I think we
survive a
limited
dagger.
your options to her
Cheese
throat.
sets down her druid staff.
I will point out they currently have not. The ones that have bows currently do not have them pointed at you. This
That's
fellow
not
does not
saying
have his
anything.
drawn.
Because technically, it is the same amount of time to kick a weapon into your hand as it is to draw a weapon. So
Yeah.
that's the same amount of time.
But yeah, this fellow, he is he looks at the rest of the other ones, the other two. They're readily available.
Unfortunately, I think that's as good as you're going to get. She shrugs.
Also, Inik, I do want you to roll. I'll say intimidation because of what you've said previously. I want to see what you get. You would have advantage on this.
Alrighty.
Okay. Yeah, he takes a moment and with a sigh, he takes the not unsheathing it. He simply takes the scimitar off his hip and gingerly places it down on the ground. He doesn't take his eyes off of any of you, though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Do the rest of his group follow suit?
The half orc over here does pretty quickly. The other ones with the bows, they're a little slower, but they do. They don't necessarily drop them. They just put them back where they're not ready. They're not in the hands anymore. It's hard to drop a whole quiver of arrows. And the lady way in the back with the gun, she just stands up. She leaves it rested against the rock.
In the person with the
Cheese
dagger.
Cheese looks over to Syndrus. And with her grin a little bit wider than usual, says, if you would be so kind as to drop the dagger.
It's a bad idea. We can't trust them.
No, you cannot.
Uh-huh. Well, let's face it. We're groups with clearly something up with both of us. We're gonna need to take the risk of trust. Want to get anywhere.
No, you need to do what you're told. If you want to get Zara,
That
that's enough.
did he say?
He said Zara.
Alright.
She glares at him, but she does slowly lower the blade and almost with the temperament of a child throwing a tantrum, just flings it into the dirt,
Dora,
crosses her arms.
And
I
it
will
will then
remember
put away
that.
his sword.
Don't
We
call me
fey
that.
creatures are good with names.
Do not call me that.
Mm.
They now look to Inik and Lessla, waiting to see what they will do.
Inik will put his sword away. They did what he asked, so
And as for Lessla,
I mean, Lesla will move her hand away from her sword, but she's not dropping it.
Sindris doesn't seem to like that at all. Or Zara, as you've now heard her called.
Will you quit being difficult?
It's fine. It'll be fine.
I'll take a cautious step forward and thus away from my spear.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little closer to this man.
He
Penetrate there.
he
Hands are
doesn't
still
take
out.
he doesn't take a step away from his weapon. He just sort of kicks it to the side. It ends up right about here, out of his reach.
Yeah. Now, what's going on here? Something tells me you folk ain't. This ain't what you want. And we know something's been going on around here. Just want to make sure that
Before
Go
I
ahead.
before I say anything, I need to know a little bit more about all of you. I need to know I'm not making a mistake. It's going to get my people killed.
You've made many mistakes already, and we haven't killed you yet.
what she means is they're aggressive with their pride and their ways. Bunch of city folk. I don't know what it means to really suffer the hardships.
Go ahead and roll me another persuasion check.
Makes a pointed look at the half walk. People
Yep.
seem to suffer.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check again, this time at advantage.
Because just I very noticed he's not looking.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job, Corvus. I believed in you.
So why did all of you head out this way? What are you all doing here?
Took a commission.
We
Whose commission?
some hunter fellow. Forgot a name from him. Inik here. Said that he bought him from what I heard, bought him a drink. Seemed to be a hunter who come back and wanted to relax for a while. Handed the job over to us. Some creature. That's all we know.
You said a hunter?
That's what I was told.
I might know who you're talking about. You can all pick up your weapons now. Just please don't make me regret that decision. Okay?
Good enough for me. And I'll pick up my stuff.
Can I incite him? Is it way like this guy's a friend of his or this guy's an enemy of his? He just want to piss off.
Sure, you can roll that.
I'm trying to get.
Also,
Should I
roll
come
that.
back to normal?
Yes, absolutely. You can both
yeah.
roll it.
Can I?
Well, it's rolling good. I can't keep rolling good. You know what I mean?
I'm also gonna do that.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll just
Yeah,
let that be my first
so-
check of the night.
Come out now. Get the rolls out now.
So, Corvus, you're not entirely sure.
A little weird.
Like, you can generally read people pretty well, but maybe it's the fact that he had his hand up to his face. You know, between that and the beard, you couldn't get a really good look at most of his face. Or maybe it's that you're starting to notice that he's not looking so hot himself. As for Blue Cheese and Sapphire, you can both tell that that does seem to ring a bell. He doesn't seem upset about hearing the name. Maybe a little or well, not name, but
The description of the
yeah.
mission.
He does seem maybe a little concerned, but that's about it.
Cheese
Sorry,
is
go
gonna
ahead.
ahead and... Sorry, Cheese is just gonna go ahead and pick up her druid stuff. He's still smiling. It hasn't dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Does it
And
ever
she's
drop?
still looking pointedly at
Yes.
Syndrus. It does.
Mm-hmm. She is doing her best not to look at Cheese. Moves off over here. All right. We'll take you to the camp. Just again, don't make me regret this. Please don't make me regret this.
Yeah, I think go. Well, don't intend to. Why don't you just
I
give
don't
us
intend to either.
a rundown of what's been going on?
Not here, not right now.
We'll just it's still in the adjacent square technically, so I can
Mm-hmm.
get up.
Lead the way.
I'll move back where I was.
Right. And he makes a motion to the rest of those people. They just like you do, pick up their stuff and shoulder it. Syndrus still doesn't seem happy, but she's listening.
I pick the meat off of the drake, give him a pet, and then I give the cat a little scratch behind the ears, and I follow.
Calico purrs. The drake nuzzles into your hand a little bit.
Is this the camp here?
No, no,
The seat. I know
no,
it's the campfire. I was like, is that what their camp is the entire time?
no, no.
Welcome to our, let's go to camp.
Hello.
Hello.
No, it'll be a little bit of a walk if any of you want to try and have a conversation or anything while this is going on.
How close is the half-orc fellow to me?
The half orc,
Yeah.
they're giving you a wide berth. They're giving you a fairly wide berth.
Pretty normal. Doesn't
Including
look
the leader guy?
The only one who isn't is Syndrus.
It's what we usually expect from people.
Mm-hmm.
And this seems to be
So
unaffected.
the leader guy is just leading us way ahead of us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Corvus is just, again, he's following, but he's one, a hunter, and two, naturally kind of paranoid. And it ain't the first time someone's invited him to a fire only to try and take his stuff. So, but he's, again, extending trust. Not wrong weapons, he's just keeping an eye out for traps or like, because like, again, it's good hunting here, so there might be some like old hunters traps that the people forgot about that might still work. If there's something in the forest, there might be defensive traps. Like, she doesn't expect these guys would walk into. Be clever of how you move around the trap.
Okay.
He's at one point during trip is going to look over to Lady Silverster. Is your neck all right?
I am fine.
If it comes down to it, technically this isn't a weapon. It's just a stick.
I do not care about technicalities.
You give the word, my lady. They will be dead in 7 minutes.
At which point Lessla looks to you, her eyes hidden mostly behind her glasses, and says is, I am pleased with your willingness to listen to my commands. And she seems to relax a little bit more as she as her posture becomes a little more straight rather than it was the more angry posture that she had.
There is an ability that I have that I have not been able to try. I'm very curious to see what it feels like.
Interesting. And I assume that we're talking in Sylvan.
Yeah, because Cheese would at this point know that you speak Sylvan. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Lessla nods and says, if it is an ability tied to your background, it would be quite interesting to see, considering the stories that I've heard about druids.
I would not know them.
Can we hear this as well, or?
It's in Sylvan, so if you can speak Sylvan,
Yeah.
probably.
I was just making sure this wasn't like in whispers where we can't hear other than those two.
You do have to stage whisper.
Cheese isn't keeping her voice. She's not like yelling. She's definitely keeping her voice lower, but should Sapphire be listening in with her perception, then I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
She'd be able to listen fine.
So I will respond in Sylvan. Well, for now, there are allies, so why not just wait until we actually have an enemy to test out that new ability, okay? I get they pissed you off, but now is not the time.
Oh, they did more than that. They threatened my lady.
Do not care for your opinion, Miss Eldercrown.
Nor do I care for yours, Lessla. I'm just saying a point.
Then mind your own
This is
They're
just
business.
willing to
going.
help us.
What was
They're willing
hearing
to help
only
us.
names? It's like, what are you talking about?
They're willing to
Fine.
help us. Why attack? That's all I'm trying to prove.
Help is a strong word. We do not know what the situation is. So I will
They have
reserve
information
my
we
judgment.
don't have. That is helpful.
Not all
We could get all the
information is
information
worth
we need, and then
knowing.
we could kill them.
Oh. Sapphire's just rubbing her temples at what Cheese said.
Let us continue. I believe they're getting suspicious at the fact that we are speaking in a language they probably do not know.
And Lessla looks at Sindris and then looks back to see if she's has any indication that she's been listening.
As far as you can tell, not much. If you had to describe what she's doing, it would be pouting.
Uh-oh.
At
That's-
which point, Lessla will switch
Oh, you
back.
look so pitiful, Sindris.
Which point, Lessla will switch back to common and says, "You seem almost as peeved as I am of this situation."
Oh, wait, it wouldn't be Sindris. It would be Zara, yes?
She glares at you.
Hmm.
Do not antagonize
She doesn't
her.
say anything.
Do not antagonize her unnecessarily, Miss Cheese.
Yes, my lady.
Inik's gonna turn to Lesla and speak in Dwarvish. I believe you do understand Dwarvish.
I understand a lot of
Um,
languages. That is one of them.
Yeah, I could choose Draconic or Dwarvish. So he speaks in Dwarvish. Same thing as they were doing earlier, just kind of lower, even though it's not quite whispering, just not speaking at normal volume. What they are doing is an affront to my god. They will be killed. When I give you the signal, or a signal rather, it's probably going to be best to run.
Which point Lessla will respond is in with a "Let us be patient. They may be more useful to achieving our goals than first thought. Let
They are
us
criminals. When we are done figuring out what they know, they will be killed. That is how justice is served.
sometimes justice isn't a better justice is not death. Sometimes justice is servitude. Let us figure out which ones are worthy of such a thing first, before we jump to conclusions."
And it's about at this time that you guys will arrive in their camp. The gentleman who's been leading you so far goes and takes a seat behind the fire. And in spite of what you see, there are a few other individuals milling about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very big. This tent over here seems to be some sort of a mess hall. This one has a few supplies. It's pretty much entirely just foods. I already have you guys on here. You don't need to.
I
Yeah.
did not.
We're up
My
here.
my screen
Up
is
here in the corner.
far.
For this one, there's really not that much there. It seems like a few places to sit. This one is the one that catches your eye, though, as there's quite a few people in it, most of whom are lying on beds. None of them look too great.
Do
With
I see?
Corvus's
Sorry, go ahead.
with Corvus's knowledge of medicine, how bad are we looking?
Pretty bad. Though it's not something you can diagnose, they do not look good. Whether or not it's something life-threatening is hard to tell.
So I'm asking, does it look like hunger? Does it look like, oh, I ate a
There's
weird
definitely
looking
some hunger.
meat?
Like now that you're getting a look at these people, it's clear that they are not getting the amount of food they should be.
Well, to sign a good faith. Corvus will walk closer to the fire,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll set down his bag of meat that he's been collecting. Set it next to the fire,
Okay.
and clearly show that it is just a bag of meat
Mm-hmm.
to them, so they know what it is. If anyone wants to take that, they can.
Do you hold it out to?
Yeah. Held out. We took.
He will take it if you hold it out to him.
Yeah.
And pass it back to one behind him.
Shadow, really
Is-
quick, do you ever
Mhm.
want me to let you know when I'm speaking with flowers?
No, I can tell that you are. Just
Okay.
you didn't have much to contribute right now.
Okay. I just want to make sure you see it.
He hands it back to this woman. Lydia, make sure that the other people get some of this, and make sure it's checked over well. She
Said her name
nods.
was Lydia.
He said Lydia, yes. She takes it from him and plants a kiss on his cheek, and then heads over to this tent over here.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see anybody with a green robe?
Not immediately. Though the only place you really can't see into is this tent.
So, Corvus does a nod of the head at being around someone else's fire, as he acknowledges essentially around someone else's fire. Thank you for taking us to your fire.
It's the least we can do. I think we might have made a bit of a mistake.
El leans a little to this guy. Goes, the ones in the injury tent look like young-ish.
Varies.
How long they been like that?
Depends on which one of them. Some of them a few days. Some of them a lot longer. Just grateful I hadn't taken anyone yet. Well, not from this anyway.
This, are you referring to the ailment of some sort?
Don't know. None of them remember anything that happened. Went out in the woods one day. Came back like this.
Can I don't know what check this would be. Cheese wants to know if the same off energy from the forest is stronger on around these people, I guess. It'd be the difference.
That will be. I need you to make. Yeah, it will be nature actually.
Nature. I'm gonna go ahead and use my inspiration on this.
Okay, roll with advantage.
Oh, fuck yeah, baby.
There you go. Yeah, it is. It most definitely is.
Lady Silverster, and to whomever your leader's name is. Might I be able to more closely inspect these old people?
What do you notice, Miss Cheese?
Thing that piques my interest is all.
Hmm. I shall allow it.
And what would that be? And what would that be?
Sorry, I'm finishing writing that myself.
No worries.
Okay, there we go. The forest is out of balance, I believe. Not quite sick, but something is wrong.
I look to
These
the man.
people seem to know, or this wrongness is strong on these people.
Hmm.
Okay.
As soon as Cheese says that, Lessla is going to ritually cast Detect Magic.
Okay. So you start to do that ritually, and the this fellow walks up and stops it. Hey! What are you doing?
I'm examining the area. If I was trying to kill anyone, someone would be dead. And she returns to ritually casting it.
Uh,
What are you doing?
boss.
It is a standard and non-dangerous spell.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna get someone I trust a bit more to verify that.
Of course.
Right. And he takes a moment and walks over to that one tent that you haven't seen the inside of yet. He steps inside. I assume, Leslie, you're still casting while he's doing this.
Yep.
Okay.
Of course, we'll just tap the book. Let them.
Okay.
You're in these people's house. Respect their rules. Wait.
Lesla's going to keep ritually casting it, as when you interrupt it, she has to restart.
We'll kick the book closed.
Well, the book doesn't let me.
Okay.
Doesn't start the.
You need to have the book out to ritual cast.
In that case, you were going to get slapped. At which point Lesla says.
Okay.
This.
It's
Point Lesla says this.
Go ahead.
Do not interrupt me again. I
And
only
do
have
not disrespect these people. They're being very kind to us here.
kind as a strong
But
word.
their house, you'll respect their rules,
This is no house.
little lady.
Do not speak to me in such a way.
For now.
You're spitting on old traditions older than your birth. And you're meant to be the proper one.
They are not
And walk
my
back to the fire.
traditions.
Makes them no less valuable.
I may. Thank you. Just
Lesla
wait.
opens her book again and starts her chanting over.
I'm curious to know who is in that tent.
And
Right.
about on cue, as you do that, you hear some ruffling. Oh well, all right. What on earth is the matter? And oh no, hello.
Hi.
You didn't tell me there were more people. That's a bit of a new development. RIV. ALEN.
Okay.
Uh, yes, and you wanted to discuss something else with me, or you wanted me to discuss something else with them, uh, about acquaintance of mine, I believe. Uh, do we have a mutual acquaintance? I'm certain I've never met you before.
No, we got a job from a hunter of sorts. Gestures to the Dragonborn. He probably knows a bit more about this gentleman, but well, we know he was he gave us the job because Show them basic can. It's hard to come by nowadays.
I see. And you, my friend, where did you get this job?
Waterdeep.
That doesn't narrow it down, I'm afraid.
Out of character, he did say where.
Mhm.
Not. He was not being specific enough.
Who from did you get this job? He was addressing Inik.
Why does it matter?
Well, I'm trying to see if it might be a mutual acquaintance. Have I said something wrong to upset you?
The company you
quick
keep
insight.
reflect on you.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean.
They're upset that desperate people resorted to desperate measures.
They are criminals.
Well, I do suppose that some might look at it like that.
There is no distinction, right or wrong. You have broken the law. You are a criminal.
Nick, please, your view of the world is so black and white. The reason
Law
I'm
and
angry is because they threatened my lady.
laws of the forest are different laws of the city. I
The
assure
laws
you.
of the forest do not exist other than the laws of existence themselves.
Right. Uh, who was it that sent you here? If you don't mind answering that question.
I do.
Inik, they're trying to help us with the commission.
They are criminals.
They are starving people that just want food.
They live in a forest. It's not
People
that
who
hard
live
to
in
hunt.
forests.
Well, it's clear.
If I may correct you, it is rather hard at the moment.
Forest is
Figured.
ill.
Very
Move
much so.
elsewhere. This is a problem not solved by banditry.
Actually,
Again,
it is.
desperate
Actually,
people go to desperate measures. Now, if you could get that through your thick skull and tell the gentleman who gave you the commission so we can get on with our lives, that'd be great.
I do not work with criminals.
I see. Then perhaps it might be best to explain to you a bit more of what's going on.
Lendis gives no judgment other than criminals
Ah, that
are
explains so
just.
much. Well, if it pleases you, I doubt Lendis would judge too harshly with the full story.
Did you commit crimes? Did you harm people by taking things that were not rightfully yours? Then you are criminals, and you will be judged as such.
Now,
if
harming, stating that anyone
is involving land. Lendis, it is her council who can appease Lendis's rage.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, but does Corvus know? That's what I'm asking.
That you might know a little bit about the Draconic Pantheon.
Okay, yes, making sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you want
I'm
to
just
roll the religion check, then sure.
yeah. I didn't want to just pull out my knowledge to low roll.
You're vaguely familiar with Blendis having a wife, and that she is a little bit the counterbalance. The two of them are the two sides of the same coin, but at the same time, those sides could not be more different.
Well, I think we should consider teachings of another god. I believe God Landis has his counterpart, his wife. I think we should employ her teaching as opposed to his.
Apply whatever teachings you wish. My family always has, always will, worship Lendis and Lendis alone.
Has it enough time passed with this conversation?
Yeah.
All right. What do I see?
So as you get detect magic up, you start looking over the people in the tent. Yeah, there is something faintly there. As far as you can tell, it's not a specific spell, it's not a specific school. But if you had to relate it to one, it would probably bear the most hallmarks to enchantment.
Hmm.
But this is clearly not the work of some wizard. Whatever it is, because it just doesn't have the distinct signs.
Lessla says this. Inik, our commission was to solve the disappearances of the town. Before you
Solve the disappearances. But criminals are criminals.
as they
It
are.
seems everyone here is one.
Right, Lessla looks
And
at Corvus
judgment
and
will
says,
fall on them all.
"Will you let me speak? God damn it! Do
I
not
think you
interrupt
talk a
me.
lot.
Let me
This ain't your household. This ain't your court or whatever it is.
Corvus.
I don't. Uh-huh.
If you wish for someone that knows about the draconic laws as well as the draconic religions, you will let me speak so that I can try to salvage the situation that we are in. So do not interrupt me." And she will turn to Inik and say, "Yes, Lindis is unforgiving in his punishments, Inik. But we must solve the source of the criminality, not the symptoms. Let your justice be unforgiving to those who caused this problem, not to those who perpetrate it. Perpetuate it." In addition, we took the commission. It would be against both of our natures to go back on our word, wouldn't it? So, put aside the justice meant for these people and focus on the justice meant for what caused their suffering.
I've been contracted to do, but you are criminals all the same.
Yeah, totally weren't person of that
Excuse
lifestyle.
me. If I would be allowed to more closely inspect people that are ill, I don't know if my magic would do much, but I might be able to help their condition, and they could tell us more.
You can try. From the leader.
Which tent were the sick people in again?
Over here.
She's just going to very carefully avoid Inik, and I'll just put her there to show that she is in the tent. And she is um, essentially casting Cure Wounds and Healing Word over these people to see if it will do anything. And while she's doing that, she's trying to see if there's anything indicative of something magically that she would be aware of. Like, I mean, her being from the High Forest, there's a lot of weird magic stuff going on in there. If it's Fae, if it's whatever else, if it's some sort of creature. Um,
Okay.
anything along those lines.
So I need 2 rolls from you. I need an Arcana and I need a Nature check.
Ah, great, yay! We'll go nature first.
Okay.
12. And then we're gonna go Arcana. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, as
12
far as you
nature, and
can,
then a 15.
as far as you can tell, this isn't Fae, whatever it is. Like, it fits some of the signs. It fits some of the bills. But something about it just doesn't feel quite like the Fae. You can't put your finger on it. But you are certain that this is not Fae in nature. Other than that, you really don't know.
I'm gonna do a cast of Cure Wounds. Would that do anything to help these people?
See, it's not
I'm
really
gonna go ahead and
wounds.
cast it and see if it
You
works.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and let you know. It doesn't really seem to do much. Like, maybe they feel a little bit better, but you know, Cure Wounds is designed to repair. It's designed to repair damage.
Mhm.
And there's not so much damage here to repair. It's more like there's things missing.
Mm. And Cheese is going to stay in this tent and meditate on this fact.
Okay.
She doesn't like the
So,
art thing.
look into the yellow and green. What brings you here, friend?
Oh, my purpose here? Well, it's gotten somewhat complicated, I'll admit. I was originally coming here to um you're familiar with the rumors about the Adventurers Guild in Waterdeep?
I am.
Yes, well, that is why I'm here. I've simply gotten sidetracked.
Uh-huh. How long you been here, friend?
Um, no more than a week, I don't think. I don't think I've spent that much. Have I spent that much time in the tent? Don't answer that.
No, you're probably best bet we got. You have any idea what's going on here?
Well, honestly, no. I really do not have much insight. See, natural magic, druidic, you might call it, is certainly my specialty, but this doesn't quite fit all the bills, if that makes any sense. See, the magic isn't spell-like in nature, whatever permeates this place, and whatever is chasing off all the food and removing the people, well, leaves very little trace of itself.
And the people who have seen it aren't in any place to even
Well,
ramblings and dreams.
well, no, some of them were at first. They simply didn't remember. Which is perhaps the most confusing part.
When's it attack most often?
So the first person to speak up in the way back is Sindris. Night. Always at
Is,
night.
is it ever attacked you?
Go on, Zara. Yes.
How many did it take out?
I don't know.
I get insight on her.
Yes. With advantage.
Yes, it's advantage.
Good thing I
Yeah.
No,
You
she's
said,
not.
you said it as I
She's,
hit the button. You said as I hit
she's
the button.
she is she's not lying about that.
Oh, I'm getting insight not just on her. Like I would say that she's lying, but it's also like the idea of how would she like? She seem upset. Does she annoyed? Does she seem just
That
not move
definitely
it?
bothers her. It definitely bothers her that she doesn't
Which
know.
don't know. Do it? Does anyone know?
We sent 5 people out trying to look for it. It's the leader speaking again. Sindris is the only one that stumbled back. She thought she'd just gotten lost.
There's a Corvus is normally like stoic face. You see a look of almost worry crossing over it. That's not good.
Oh, you don't say. She stomps off and goes and sits behind this tent. It might be best if you leave her alone on that.
Corvus nods. Wasn't trying to upset anyone.
It's not your fault. Her brother, my son, is one of the ones that didn't come back.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing that can be done about it now.
Are there any scouting parties out other than your little group?
No.
This is everyone then.
This is everyone. Everyone is
than-
not in the town.
Less than 30 people.
Right about that mark, yeah.
You know there was more.
Yeah. Those. We haven't seen anyone else go missing. And we still remember the ones that did.
What do you do to? I do have a question. I understand I may be overstepping, but I've been doing a lot of that today. When you take the supplies, where do you usually send the people delivering?
Well, sorry, I need you to clarify that a little bit.
Where do you usually, when you take supplies from people, where do you usually send them?
Well, some we keep here to look after the worst of them. Others Lydia over there goes and tries to get into the town.
Did it come out?
Yeah, she knows how to get out pretty well. It's getting a bit harder, but it's gotta be done.
And oh. We'll do what we can, or at least. Even if that's just getting more information, but that seems unlikely.
If you can find anything, I'd be grateful.
If does it seem to have a main stalking ground?
Not that we can tell.
So as far as we know, the entire forest is a danger.
We know that a few places are a bit more visibly off than others. But we've sent people in there just fine. We've had hunters go through there just fine. We don't really know where anyone gets taken from.
I couldn't help but notice, and he'll point here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, that. Very old, actually. Uh, I believe it was something druidic at some point, but the circle that maintained it is long since gone. Honestly, I'm not even sure what they used it for. It would be far more fascinating if it weren't for all this.
Oz will have a little look-see at it. Anything popping out? Was just like this is a bunch of
Well,
magical hoop?
you can't
Probably
read
good.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
As soon as they say druidic, Lessla will perk up and say, Miss Cheese. Examine the
Yes,
circle.
Oh, of course. And she'll exit the tent and quietly and softly go, and she will inspect the circle.
Okay. Cheese, you can in fact read this.
Mm.
It's not the form of druidic you're familiar with, but it's similar enough to where you can make it out.
Okay.
The four major symbols on it are their variation of symbols for, fire, air, earth, water. For pretty basic for druid anything.
Mm.
But the words that are scrawled around it almost seemingly at random. It is the same 3 words, just over and over. Forget me not, 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 forget me not.
Shadow, I'm not liking where this is going. I really don't like where this is going.
Okay.
I would assume that this is ring any bells
No.
or anything Cheese might have heard before. Okay.
No.
Cheese at this point would have gotten like on the ground on her little goat knees, um, and running her hands over it to kind of get a sense of all of this. Um, and she'll
Go
shake her
ahead.
head.
I need you to roll me an Arcana check, Cheese. With advantage.
Okay.
Because this is
Oh,
sort of
hooray.
your thing.
Cool. 18.
This is definitely a ward of some kind. Whether it's still
Yeah.
active or not is really hard to say.
Detect magic would see that, wouldn't it?
It's still faintly active.
Hmm.
It would be classified as abjuration, but that's a bit vague.
Which point, Lessla looks to the leader and says is, how long ago did these oddities begin?
Month and a half.
Is there anything about the circle that indicates why it would be losing power, or is it just seem to be weakening over time?
It doesn't seem like it's losing power, honestly. It doesn't seem like it's even weakening. It seems like it's fairly stable.
Interesting.
I'm not certain what this is for, but it does seem to be a standard druid circle.
It is a ward of some sort.
Yes. Yes, that's what I was able to determine. Though, for what it would be warning against, I have no idea. There's not that many dangerous creatures near to Waterdeep.
None that are known.
Forget
He
not is
pushes
what
up his
it says.
glasses.
Lessla says, none that are known. At which point he says is, what do and I assume that she has at least shared what it says.
It's not.
She has not. No.
Okay.
I think
Um,
she's about to.
Okay.
yes, she was about to. It says forget me not. What it is in reference to, I am not certain.
So it's a ward that says "Forget me not," and there's a creature running around that makes you forget it exists.
A
Well,
protection against it, most likely.
Uh, if anyone wants to get more detailed about this, you can roll me an investigation check.
Sure, why not?
Sapphire, you would do so at disadvantage.
That makes sense.
Get bent, nerd. I'm just kidding.
And Corvus, you would as well.
Damn
Oh.
it.
Lessla and Cheese are the only ones who would not make it at disadvantage.
That was a good first roll too.
Ha!
Damn,
Fuck
Corvus!
Okay.
you, Shadow. I win.
Okay.
I win everything.
So,
Meanwhile, out of character, I'm like, I don't like where this is going.
Corvus, what you're able to notice on here is
I shouldn't.
see, you're not.
Stop the D. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, GM. I didn't mean to
Mhm.
get all happy because I know if I get happy, I'll fail every other check for the rest of the session.
So, y- you don't really know magic circles and that type of thing. It's a bit outside your wheelhouse, but you can
know
see a
ruins.
faint, like, tracing over this circle.
I will just act just due to what I'm noticing. I will instinctually cast detect magic.
Okay,
That's up
yeah,
to
you can tell the abjuration magic on here, which again, it's a ward that makes sense.
Nine.
No, not divine.
So like you said, it's like a line.
Oh yes, the line. So the faint line you can see, the reason you see it is more so what the line separates. It's not so much clean or even a uniform circle. It kind of squiggles around on this little circle here. But on the inside of the line, towards the center of this circle, it seems the stone seems much lighter in color than on the outside of this.
To call this, knowing a bit more about ruins, is this an like standard aging of stone or?
No. What this reminds you of is like if you let some, say, like fungus grow on a tree
Yeah.
or like on a patch of stone. After you remove it, there is a lighter patch on the stone where it hasn't been weathered as much. It hasn't been exposed quite so well. So it looks like something was here.
Using
This
my tracking, can I use like any kind of thing to try and determine the shape, size of this thing, or does it just look like this is just a
it
block?
looks like it's just squiggly lines. Again, the line itself is so very faint.
Huh.
But there is a line that has actually been carved into the stone. It's just very, very small. And it looks just kind of like a blob, like an ink blot, honestly. Or maybe
Yeah.
an amoeba? Not that Corvus would know what that is.
I'd maybe have heard tales of oozes.
Yeah, maybe like an ooze. Just went splat there and laid there for a long time.
Corvus will, because he's crouched down and begin tracing the area of his finger.
Okay, as he does that, you all can see what he's pointing out.
Looks like an ate away at the stone.
Not likely. He takes out a little stick with some jewels and some little metal knob on it and just lightly taps it in a few places on the stone. Doesn't seem to be degraded. Seems better preserved, if anything.
Do I know of any natural plant or anything that would have that specific effect?
Anything that just sat for a long time covering the same
Anything,
area of a place. Like moss, lichen, mushrooms, grass, even. This is just kind of what happens when something gets grown over and you clear it. Provided there's not a lot of dirt you're clearing too.
Is it a relatively small piece of the circle or a larger piece?
So it covers. Let me do this real quick. About. Oop. Here. Covers about like. Like that.
Looks. Force will. There's grooves, right? And the lines are carved into
Yeah,
it.
there's a groove around that line.
Force is, and they seem weird. He's sniffing the cracks to see if there's like a trace of anything. Like
Give me a
mush.
perception check.
No, that's fair. Cheese will help him out because that's she's down to smell some rocks, but also that's just like a
Yeah, I'll say both of you roll me a perception check. I don't think you can really
yeah.
help each other with this.
My bad rolls are coming back now.
Yeah, Corvus. Cheese, it smells like rock. It
Ah.
smells like old rock. Corvus, there's like a faint smell of mint? Like, mint was here a long time ago. Maybe.
That's strange.
Cheese is gonna look around, I suppose.
Okay.
You said you specialize in magic of nature. Do you know
Yes.
what mint is often used for?
Mint. Mint. More in alchemy than in magic, honestly. Especially to ease the flavor of certain medicines.
Yeah,
Cheese
slight
would know
crack.
specifically what it's used for in like witchcraft and magic, though. Could I make a check to see what it could possibly mean?
Sure.
Would that be what would that be?
That would be Arcana.
Okay,
You cheese would roll it with advantage.
fun. At 20.
Okay.
Yay.
So, yeah, cheese, he's right. There's not many spells that really use it. Like, it's more of just an additive, and some spells have as optional ingredients. Mint itself is a fairly mundane plant. It's better suited for the kitchen than the alchemist lab.
More so used for basic medicines, really. Nothing quite magical itself.
These little crevices here.
Though
There's a
I will add one more thing for you, cheese. With that, you do get the faintest feeling like there's something nagging at the back of your mind that maybe you have like the mint smell is ringing a bell. Maybe. But you don't know what it would be. Like your tutors taught you a great many things. A great many stories about the forest. Maybe it's one of those, but you can't put your finger on it.
Well, if you use more for cooking, possibly it's to cover up the scent of some sort of agent used on the stonework.
it's old. Can't determine how old it is. It was in the cracks
Hmm.
around the shape, which means it might have been keeping it in.
Well, there are two solutions to solving this through experimentation. It's either to burn away the additive or to infuse magic into it and see what happens. Would you like to care which one is usually tried first?
What was used for zooms is like very almost like wild man primal sniffing and moving around. Essentially, he's on all fours now, like a creeping predator, like a creeping animal.
Mhm.
It's very odd to people who aren't used to seeing it.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Cheese?
Yes.
If you would please, focus your magics into the circle, specifically on the mint line. Let us experiment and see what happens.
Um, he hesitates for a moment, but then she does as she's told. She'll cast, I guess, Druidcraft on that specific area. Just
Okay.
focusing her magic into that spot.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a Arcana check.
This would be standard Arcana, not
Just
no.
standard. I just want to see what you do.
Oof.
Damn it.
At least I wasn't in
You
that one.
try, you're just not able to. You're just
Yeah.
not able to get anything into there. Like,
She's nervous and still very uncomfortable, and this fact that this smell is still in her head, she can't. Something is wrong, and she doesn't like it, and it's affecting her. I'll say. But as she fails, she just shakes her head again.
Hmm.
Perhaps if we try again tonight.
Perhaps.
Maybe. I've heard of certain things about the full moon. Maybe it's just the wrong time of the month.
Full moon is approaching, but it is still a ways away.
We should do some scouting while we have daylight. This thing only comes out at night. Be safest in larger groups, hopefully. Don't want to be caught out there when the sun goes down. And
Well, I'm inclined to agree with that.
Corvus will like cover his mouth, like kind of in a like a think, doing like a scratching the beard, covering his mouth, and while he is, he'll whisper to Calico, "What do you make of all this?"
I'm not certain. But perhaps it rings a bell. Let's see if I can remember anything for you.
I don't happen to catch any of this, do I?
No, I'm scratching.
No.
I'm covering my mouth.
Just double checking.
You would not be able to see anything other than the cat sort of ponder the area for a moment and maybe furrow its brow.
Mhm. I see. Yes, I am inclined to agree with scouting.
And I think we should keep Miss Cheese with us. Seems to have a sense for maybe when this thing's nearby.
I do not know.
You've detected something off last night. That's its hunting time. You're the only one who got that feeling. I reckon that means we're a bit more attuned to what's going on here. I'd rather take caution on this than already be enough loss here.
He looks genuinely surprised. But she gives a little bow and says, "Thank you. I would like to try scouting, though, to at least assess."
So I take it you all are gonna bed, but get ready to stay here for the night. This question: what do you plan to do about the cart?
Well, the horses are dead.
The
No.
horses are fine.
No, the horses are dead.
We should go back for the cart.
You have been gone at this point longer than you said you would.
What time of day is it?
At this point, about noon.
And how long would it take us for us to get things from the cart here?
About an hour.
Yeah.
Have some help.
Plenty of daylight to burn.
Right. Get
yeah.
some food for these folks.
Let's go back for the cart. At least some of us. Bring the rest here.
I can do that.
May I join you?
Of course. If some of y'all want to come assist us, it's quite heavy.
Lady
Sapphire will be
Silverster,
going to.
you will excuse me?
Stay safe.
And she gives a bow.
Zara, you go ahead and go with them. Make sure someone knows the woods. She comes out from behind the tent and looks over who it is she's going to be going with, and just scowls at this fellow who you can now assume to be her father.
Yeah, I would like to just real quick. Does she look like she's been crying?
Perception check.
Can I make that check as well?
Yes, you can.
I am going to make that check too.
Ah, it's
Oh,
about time.
Why am I still on disadvantage? But regardless,
Because
it makes me sad.
So, Corvus and Cheese, yeah. Sapphire, you can't tell. She's not really looking at you.
Yep.
And I suppose the four of us go for the cart.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Lessla will send Cloud with them.
Okay. Let's see, and it was Corvus, Cheese, Sapphire, and Syndra's going, correct?
I'm gonna try and pet Cloud, see what happens.
Clouth is willing to let you. Calico
Yeah.
hisses at him. Clouth makes a motion that if you weren't, if you didn't know better, you'd think he just stuck his tongue out at her, and then hops over and lands on Cheese's shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh,
And due to me knowing how to scratch a draconic creature,
Mhm.
it's a good little scratch. And as soon as that, because I don't want this woman who's been very helpful to me, I give her a little scratch under the chin, a little longer than I give Cloud.
Mhm.
Clearly, and then I'll work, and then I'll just give a little scratch behind the ear.
You hear some purring from her.
Cheese will give. Cheese knows that Lessla can see through Cloud, basically, right?
Mhm.
At least to some degree. Cheese will look over to Lessla and give a knowing nod and then go on her way.
So if we get away, this is how we're going to kill Inik and Lessla.
Yes, 100% on that train. Let's go.
No, like, yeah,
Oh,
no, we
Jesus.
make our way. We're gonna murder them in their sleep.
Cheese makes no moves to pet Clout because Clout and her don't have great history.
Don't
I
see
would
eye to eye.
I would do Clout and
Yeah.
Corvus. Or like Corvus views Clout as an equal, and Clout doesn't view Clout as
Cheese has tried to treat him like a pet one too many times.
yeah. Which
Yeah,
I'm
it
better
hasn't
than you,
worked.
sure.
Which the fact that Clouth has shown this on your shoulders is telling.
Clout, you make me very uncomfortable.
He seems to take a little bit of pride in that.
I'm glad you're so happy about that. At least someone is about this arrangement. And Cheese's smile has faltered noticeably.
Mhm.
We're at this point away from the rest of the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the rest of the group, I mean the two noble people.
Yes.
I'm gonna move Cheese into the corner just so we know that she's away.
I will move Sapphire over there too.
Okay.
Into the corner.
Don't forget the Drake.
I am assuming he's going to.
Yeah, of course he comes wherever he follows me sometimes whether I want him to or not.
Bye.
Anyway, Sapphire's gonna start talking to Cheese.
Oh god.
Hey, are you doing all right?
I am okay.
Yeah, I'd like to press X to doubt.
Is that something you're trying to hide, Cheese?
If we're rolling, then Cheese would be rolling at disadvantage.
Okay. You both know what to
So-
roll if you want it to come to that.
I want to see what my DC would be.
Oh my god.
Jesus! And that's at disadvantage?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. That's bullshit.
I
Hey, a
rolled
trick
I rolled
shot.
an 18 and a 16.
Fair,
Nice.
the fair
Nice.
tricky people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We are. We
One of my best friends is or at least Sapphire's is.
One of my best friends is a fair.
Yeah, so
Fuck
Cheese Lessla sees, Cheese Sapphire sees through you.
Yeah, there's no way I believe that. Your smile, for the first time I think I've ever seen, is gone. There's something up.
This forest is wrong. And it is very disconcerting. And talk of gods. It set me off. I apologize.
Hey, you have nothing to apologize for. If I'm honest, Inik's talk of his god is a bit out of. And while I can't sense what's going on in this forest, this knowing you have a connection with nature, yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting to be here.
It's not that I don't want to be here. It's I don't know. Something from those people is missing. I cannot help them. And that is something about me. What do you know? In fact, I don't know what is making so.
So, quietly. And we'll say in Sylvan,
Mhm.
just to be extra sure. Hey, Flowers, you know anything about?
The little pixie
Just kind of
reappears.
gesture.
Yeah. The invisibility drops around him. And he it's not really something I know about. Uh, I was never really much of a scout. I wasn't the biggest fan of nature either. I guess that made me a bit weird.
Is that why you stuck with City?
That's why I was in there. Yeah.
How odd.
Uh, yeah.
Oh, thank you for trying.
So you don't know anything about the mint and magic either?
Uh, not really. My magic's not as strong as it should be.
I will
Oh,
kind
okay.
of move my finger over to him to kind of like just gently pat his shoulder. I
Mm-hmm.
love you either way.
Oh, um,
And the whole like friendship kind of love, not like
yeah, no, you still make him turn red, but yeah.
I wonder why. There's a question for
Sapphire just
another time.
shrugs because she doesn't know magic or anything about Fae other than what Flowers has told her.
I believe that question is best saved for another time.
Probably,
Thank
yeah.
you, friend.
Oh,
And don't
it's fine. I'm glad I could help, I guess.
and
Can
don't
I go?
forget, if you ever don't feel safe in my hair, you're welcome to hide elsewhere.
Oh, no, I had to do that a little while ago.
Out of character, how did I not feel that? Like, where did he hide?
Good question. That's a question you can ask him. Or
You know
not.
what? She will quietly.
Okay. You'll get an answer quietly.
If there is ever a situation where you feel you must leave Sapphire's side, I will take care of you.
Oh, well, thank you, I guess. Um, I appreciate it. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? Looks to Sapphire.
Yep. You did.
Is a true
You're doing good.
offering of friendship.
Uh, okay. Um,
Mm.
I think you're falling a bit behind now, though. Points towards Corvus, still moving ahead, and Cinder's in front of him. At this, she pretty much the whole time has been angrily cutting at some of the vines and trees that get in the way with her knife. It takes her a couple whacks. It's not a. It's like I said. It's a dull and rusty knife.
I'll step up with my my knife and help out, which is magically sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sapphire will be like, I'm sure we can catch up, no problem. All right, cheese, let's go.
While
Kinda
this
jog.
She's nonsense.
while they're talking, can I do something?
Yes, you may.
I will, because I'm walking up with uh Lara.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am,
What?
I wanted to say I'm sorry for your loss.
Don't say it.
Look, it ain't easy. Ain't easy being put in hardship.
Don't
Young.
don't treat me like a kid.
I ain't. Treating you like someone who's been through a lot. I've seen people, many people, pass through my forest. I've seen the wanting to prove something. I've seen them full of vigor one minute and then rain the next. Forest will break you and rebuild you. This place ain't right what's going on.
No
Especially,
kidding.
especially with young people involved. Not to mention you weren't exactly having a good
She
time
she
before
glares
that.
at you when you say that. Yeah, as soon as you say young people, you get a death glare.
Try and deconstruct it as well as its properties.
Okay. You don't need to make a check to trace it.
Although she has replaced the druidic with draconic.
Okay. Uh, If you're doing that language, you do know. With magic involved.
Yes, I know.
So, Arcana would be the first one.
All right. Because I'm using draconic.
You have calligrapher's tools, right?
No,
Okay.
I just have ink and pen and the ability to draw arcane.
Yeah. Yeah, so then it's just going to be the Arcana.
Yep. All right, and here we go. What was it?
Okay. Yeah, you're able to get it down fine. You know, it's not like a masterfully done drawing, but it's an effective diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not the changing it to draconic changed anything, you don't really know.
I mean,
But
there's only
you know,
one.
it gets the gist across.
There's one way to test it. And,
Okay.
And wizards are anything but practical experimentation. If they are anything, they are practical experimentation. So
Okay.
after she has it drawn out and is mostly thinks it's correct, she will infuse a small amount of magic into the paper.
Nothing happens. Like, you attempt to, like, press to digitate the paper, you press to digitate the paper. That's about it.
Just very nice paper.
Yeah, it's smoother than it used to be.
All right. I guess I'll just tuck that into my bag for now. And the second experiment was just to try and infuse magic into the circle, her own style of magic into the circle.
That'll be Arcana. I will give you disadvantage.
Yep, I figured. Hmm. 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, no, well, yeah, I just noticed what 9 means.
Oh no.
Lessla, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, but so you're about to give up, you do see something. Roll me a d3.
Oh,
no.
Lord.
A D3, that is the weirdest dice.
It
Yes,
exists
it is.
apparently in the rules.
It does exist.
Yes, it's a D6 divided by 2.
Oh, it's actually it says in the rules it says roll a d3.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yes, it's basically you're rolling a D6
Okay.
and you're dividing it by 2.
GM needs to roll something.
And
Lessla,
no.
roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no.
21.
Okay.
Okay. So, Lessla, you feel something try to just storm its way into your mind. You're going to take 6 points of psychic damage as you feel like something tries to get in there and rearrange the furniture, so to speak. You're able to beat it off, but it's not a pleasant feeling.
Yeah. As soon as that happens, Lessla, in her I'm a wizard, I must write this down, and starts writing down the effects and says is, if I had to take a guess based on what just happened, the feeling I am having, and the possibilities, I would say that whatever we're dealing with may be on the creature family, that of ghosts, possibly a wraith, revenant, spirit of some sort. Not exactly fey, but very close. Possession. It would explain why people are losing their memories, and why some have not returned. Interesting. That's why Lessla looks at the wizard and says, "You said that the druids moved on. Do you have any evidence of this, or did they simply disappear?"
Well, I only said they're not around here anymore. What caused them to ultimately fade away? Well, your guess is honestly as good as mine. I wasn't even aware there was a circle here until recently. Well, not this particular circle, anyway.
Have you considered a supernatural cause to all this?
I think that's most likely, actually. Something not entirely of this natural world. Seems almost certain.
Have you thought of spirits?
It's a possibility. I won't deny that.
Hmm.
Though I can't say for certain.
Judging by the reaction I had when I tried to infuse my own magic into the ward, I would say that it is highly likely that this ward is, well, was meant to either prevent or enable possession of others within a specific area. You said that they said that the mayor changed suddenly, correct?
That is the impression that I have gotten, yes.
Then possession would explain that.
Hmm. It's
As
an
well
interesting theory.
as well as the sudden influx of mercenaries. If this circle is enabling the possession of others, it simply needs people to having to go into the forest. Have the mercenaries been identified, or are they all faceless?
Well, they all wear the same uniforms, so I'm told.
Which
I
one?
haven't seen them myself.
I will look over to the leader and say is, what is the uniform the mercenaries wear?
He he thinks for a moment and well, they wear masks and helmets, most of them.
Have you ever heard them speak?
Once or twice.
And the voices not seem odd to you, somewhat familiar.
No.
Interesting. And your leader, would you say that he was a just man before his sudden change?
He was a politician.
Simple enough.
Make of that statement what you will.
Yeah. Which
Probably
one?
a really down to earth fellow, alright?
That's right. Lessla
Hmm.
says, I think that the people that have disappeared are being possessed.
Alright.
This circle is, in Druidic, according to my companion, is saying, forget me not. Well, in my own experimentation, something just tried to impress its will upon me, and the best way to explain it is rearrange how my mind worked. This is similar to something that ghosts can do. If the druids made this circle to preserve themselves or their abilities past their natural affinities, then it is extremely possible that whatever has happened is being caused by, for lack of a better term, the undead.
Hmm. Permit me to try something. He steps forward and takes out that little stick again and begins fiddling it over a few parts of the circle. And he needs to make an Arcana check.
Mhm.
That's a good check. That's a very good check for him. Yeah, he does need to do that. Okay, so that's that one. Do. Uh, yeah, so now he's going to voluntarily fail that throw.
Oh.
That's a choice.
Ouch.
Hmm.
You see him recoil a minute, stumble a few steps back, wipe a little bit of blood from under his nose. I'm not entirely sure your description is he looks around. Where did you go?
Interesting. Right, Lessla will move towards him and put a hand on his shoulder and says, "Can you feel that?"
Oh, jeez. I do certainly feel it, but I don't
Interesting.
see you anywhere.
At that point, Lesla will say is, and Lesla will say is, "Look at me," and she will try and look into his eyes.
That is somewhat challenging at this point.
Just look in the general direction of my voice.
He does. He's a little bit off.
Yeah, but Lesla's looking into his eyes. Is there anything different?
Not at all.
Interesting. Whatever this is, it is a magical change entirely. There is no physical difference in your eyes. Point. Lesla will then
Oh, there you are.
will then use detect magic unritually just so that she saves time.
Mm. Uh, again, it seems closest to an enchantment effect, but it's not. It's very similar to all the people up here, up in the tent up here.
Yep.
It's definitely from the same source,
Hmm. Which
but
point?
beyond that,
Which point Lesla will manifest her mage hand invisibly and says is, "Tell me, can you see this?" And she's basically waving it in front of his face.
see what?
I was just seeing if your senses had attuned more to the arcane, and she closed it. Whatever it is, can you still see the camp itself?
Yes, and I can even see you now as well.
Oh, temporary? Interesting. Wait,
No one, I could see everyone else just fine.
you? Interesting. And Lesla will drag him over to the tent. Can you see the ones that are malnourished.
Yes.
Interesting. Whatever this is, it's causing people to be unable to see others unless there is some form of magic that is readily active. Which means it is possible that it has a variety of effects, one of which might be the inability to see others without magic, or the inability to be seen without magic.
I suppose it is possible.
Well, I mean, it's magic because of how little we truly understand the process of it. It is entirely possible this is a new effect that we have never even seen. Interesting. At which point Lessla says is, I don't know what we could use this for. It leaves holes in my previous theory. Ones that, without more information, I will not be able to close. It appears that we will have to wait till the night. At which point,
Yes, it certainly seems we will.
she stops concentrating on the detect magic and says, "Do you still see me?"
Yes, I still see you.
Interesting. Seems that the moment that you can perceive something, it stays perceivable. Or can you see everyone else now?
Well, I could always see everyone else.
So you could only just not see me.
That does appear to be the case.
Interesting.
Actually, kind of sort of fascinating. Given the situation, also mildly unsettling, but fascinating nonetheless.
So let's see. That leaves too many holes. I will need to rethink my theory. And Lessla basically pulls out the piece of paper again, starts jotting down notes, comes with an idea of inverting the magic circle and seeing what that might do.
So you write you draw an inverted one on the paper?
Yeah.
Okay. You draw an inverted one on the paper?
By and inverse, I don't just mean like upside down. I mean like a magic circle that is in theory the inverse of that one.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being I believe that's a 5-pointed star, it would become an 8-pointed star.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
Yeah. And it's just she's just jotting down notes. I don't know if this will have any mechanical benefit, but it's just something that she would do.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try doing something with it, that's up to you.
I think the
mean,
stream crashed.
it does.
It's crashed a few times.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, let's check it.
Yeah. Which point, Lessla, once she has the circle in her opinion inverted, she will try and force magic through it.
Okay. Like before, you press the digitation on the page. It's smoother than it was. That's about it.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, that's me.
All right. I assume there's nothing much else that anyone wants to do before nightfall.
Not before nightfall, no.
Hmm.
Just milling about, trying to doing some help around the camp, and then when he's done, Force will actually get outside the camp.
Yeah, when you get back, Cindrus immediately goes into one of these tents and retires early.
I will let her father know, and think I might have upset that we won.
It's not your fault. She'll get over it in time.
Right. I'm done with just helping prop stuff up. Of course, we'll go out of the camp round here and just start meditating.
All right. But
Whenever they,
sorry, no, go ahead.
just saying, choose whenever they return. She gives Clouth back to Lessla, and she stays close by, but she says nothing.
Cheese does not need to give Clouth back to Lessla.
She just walks back over and kind of lets him hop off of her shoulder.
Oh, he hops off before you get there.
Yeah, she gives a bow to Lessla and stays close, but she doesn't say anything for a while.
Lessla will scratch Clout on the head and ask us, "Did you see anything strange? At least strange for you."
She asking Cheese or Clouth?
Clouth, you get the from Clouth you only get the image of Cheese.
Asshole.
I understand your point, but that is not proper.
My question.
No, that's it.
At which point, Lessla will then look to Cheese. What about you? Did you notice anything odd?
No, nothing out of the ordinary for this.
So it seems. It seems that that the magic circle does seem to respond to magic, at least somewhat hostility, with some hostility. I'm not sure if it is intentional or merely a reaction to different forms of magic being injected into it.
I shall try again tonight.
But at this point, as you all wait for the sun to fall so you can head out, that is where I'm going to call it for tonight.
All right.
You all
So
have...
Did we level up?
No, not just yet.
No. I have a feeling we're gonna have to face a fucking false Hydra before we level up.
No, this doesn't feel like a false
No,
Hydra.
that's not a false Hydra.
False Hydras are also way too scary to put against us. I mean, if he wants
At
to
level
Also-
2,
if he wants
Yeah.
a TPK, then he can get a
Yeah,
TPK
Death
in
Center.
other ways.
Also, the thing about false Hydra is when they eat you, you're forgotten.
Yeah, no one.
These people are remembered.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
you there?
my brain did for a moment have that, but
Oh,
it was
I
like
hear ya.
they remember them.
Anyway, I
All right. With that, we will call it there for today. As always, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and ring the notification bell to get more content like this in the future. If you enjoyed our music or wish to support the channel, please view the links down in the description. And until next time, stay frosty.